Okay. All right. Did I mention that I've been down here? I spent the whole fucking weekend down here. I seriously did. Both days, a good chunk of the days, except for when I wasn't drinking at Oktoberfest. I don't know if I want praise, but God damn it, I deserve it. I think I can just give it to myself. Oh, shit, the soundboard's not working. Come on, baby. Where's that playing through?
The computer.
Fuck!
Oh, yeah.
See,
It's a
nothing
TV.
works when I want... Was it playing through that TV?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I need to switch that. So that goes to this, and then I... Yeah, it's going to work. God damn it, it's going to work. Hey, before we begin, it's time to do the sponsor plugs. Oh, God. I just don't want the curtain to be pulled back too many times. We definitely have to start with our good friends at Gooder Sunglasses, though, you guys. Gooder Sunglasses, people, the home for the fun. I know what you're thinking. Pat, indoor season is approaching. Why would I need sunglasses? This is going to be dark at 8 a.m. and it's going to be dark at 4 p.m. Why would I need them? Well, let me tell you guys. Your indoor workouts can get pretty brutal on the old eyeballs. The fans, the screen time, the sweat in the eyes, you all know that. Time for some Gooder gamer glasses. Clear blue light blocking lenses, perfect for all your indoor sessions. Check out Gooder.com today for the brilliant styles and colors. Also, Ambassador Cycling, people. You can't enjoy riding your bike if it feels like shit. You need to have a good fit to have fun. Let Sam at AmbassadorCycling.com get you dialed in for those long months of sitting in the saddle. You will thank him, and your taint will too. I think that should be his new slogan. Your taint. Is there maybe a picture of a happy taint? Wahoo Fitness, people. Speaking of indoor riding, you know you need the best to get you through the winter with the resemblance of fitness. That's why our Wahoo comes in. Best in trainers, computers, and don't forget the Sufferfest app for all your training plans. Be sure to use the link at Packfiller.com. Get yourself all the needed gear to stay fast. And lastly, competitive cyclists. For everything the LBS cannot get you. Trust competitive cyclists for all the top gear, tools. You know your bike needs fixed, right? And toys for your cyclocross, gravel, fall fondos, and winter cycling needs. Use the link at packfiller.com, please. Now that I figured it out, let's see if we can do this. Sounds pretty goddamn good. Yeah, we need Karsten. Okay. Does the audio sound better to you guys? Or is it just
Sounds
me?
really good.
Yeah.
It's got like the bass. I'm all about the bass. We are live on multiple platforms tonight, you guys. I hope this shit works. YouTube, Facebook, and even Vimeo. I've never known how that sounds. Your ears are out? Your headphones are out?
No, it was messing up my hair.
Oh. We've upgraded constantly in the studio, as many of you can probably see, especially when we get to Jackson's background, is in the process of getting a facelift. Forgive our mess, but it's not going to look cool. And it will look cool eventually. Big thanks to Michelle for her decorating insight. Perhaps the new studio will look less like a dork cave and more like a proper studio. What are you guys pointing at?
But you keep putting the clipboard in front of the camera and it's blocking out your face.
The camera's up here.
Well, they were for a while at
Was
least
it there?
on the screen. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Oh,
gone.
you guys can see the feed?
why? Because I'm monitoring.
Shit. You're going to see the people who I didn't really announce. Never mind. Speaking of dorks, I was going to say the gang's all here. But you know what? The gang's not all here.
No.
Jack jumped ship on us before I even knew everything was good. And I wrote this out. And I wish I could play Earth, Wind, and Fire without getting nailed by YouTube, because it is the 21st of September.
It is.
It is, goddammit, the 21st of September. The catchiest song ever written. Nobody hates that song. Right?
No.
No.
Nobody hates that song.
No.
You can't hate that song. It'd be illegal if you hated that song. For tonight's introductions, I'm going to put the panel on the spot, you guys. I'm going to introduce you, each of you. And Jack's not here, so I wanted to hear what his response was been. And you have to say your guilty pleasure musical artist. Okay? Your guilty pleasure musical artist. The one you listen to that nobody expects that you listen to. Okay, first and foremost, I got to adjust Paul's camera because it's cutting off the top of your head.
Oh. That's probably a good look.
Yeah. It is. This is all new shit, everybody. Go!
Get it?
Motherfucker. Where's Paul? There he is! Now we got that. As you guys could tell, there's nobody here, so usually when I'm doing all this shit, so I never know. So, okay, the one you listen to that nobody expects. Do you guys want to, feel comfortable going first?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you guys all have it in the top, in your head, the one you're going to admit on this podcast that you listen to that nobody really understands. Okay, first and foremost, Mr. Paul Main.
I hate country music, but there's one guy, Junior Brown. He is the best guitarist. He is fantastic. He is fan-fucking-tastic.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. The guy has that big, huge double guitar
steel.
that he sits down.
It's a good steel.
Yeah.
So it's a steel guitar on the bottom
Good steel.
and a Telecaster on the top.
That's
And there's only 9 in the world, and he has all 9.
no shit.
And he's got
that deep
voice.
Yep.
Oh,
Got a star on my car and one on my chest. I love him. He's
all right.
great.
So that's your confession, and that's not a bad one at all. Jackson Bulger, your confession. Come on, man, fess up.
I think that mine's probably going to be started as a boy band, but Harry Styles.
That's you guys are keeping it pretty cool. I think Harry Styles is pretty cool too.
Yeah, he went from being in One Direction to now like everybody loves him.
Yeah.
So
One Direction to every direction.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
I was gonna say I remember you telling me that one of the members of NSYNC said, "Don't let him go."
Yeah.
When Harry Styles went away, and now look where he is.
Whatever you do, when your lead singer says he wants to start a solo career, don't let him do it. From the guys of NSYNC, who are all now sitting at home doing nothing. My guilty pleasure. I'm going for it. I'm going way down the bowels of hell. Hi, my name's Pat Bulger, and I like the Johnny Hates Jazz album, Turn Back the Clock.
Can't help you.
No,
No.
I thought you were gonna talk about Ice House.
I love Ice House too,
Yeah.
and I love 70s soft rock. All that.
Well, I grew up with that.
Andrew
That's-
Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love all that shit. I'm bad. I'm bad. Jack would have been here, and we're gonna just say that Jack is a big Linda Ronstadt fan.
Yeah,
I'm just picking that out of nowhere.
Had her poster. And,
Yeah, Linda Ronstadt. Well, Crystal Gale, that's the one.
Crystal
from
Gale.
Bobby.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
Room
Bobby.
Crystal Gale
Room
shirt.
Crystal Gale shirt. Yeah. Okay, you guys, let's fess up. Let's do it. Who's riding?
We rode together Saturday. No, what was it? Thursday.
Thursday.
Yep.
That was it.
What happened Saturday? Did I even ride? I don't know if I even rode. No,
Yeah.
that was
No.
that
I
was
didn't.
Fondo.
I
I
rode.
can't even remember.
Yeah. We're gonna get to that. Don't say the F word.
I rode last night.
You did.
Yep.
It was a gorgeous photo, by the way. You should, Mr. Social Media, you should have posted that, and you should have bragged about Spokane being
I know.
the best bike town.
Yeah.
Although we don't want that to get out.
I know. 5 minutes from my house, though, I took a crazy picture at what
Oh.
was feeling like sunset. So.
Yeah. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
So you've twice.
Mm-hmm.
I rode Thursday, and that was it, too. I haven't been on my bike since, and it's fucking making me crazy. So that's depressing. Do we want to come to a confession here, you guys? We didn't ride the Corte Fondo this last weekend. And do we suck or are we smart, I guess is my question. Do we suck or are we smart? Does anybody have, and you guys can follow with suck or smart, and then you can follow with your excuses to why we didn't ride.
I think that, for me personally, that we are smart because I don't have a lot to keep me warm physically. So I know that about halfway through I would just be shivering, and like, you can have waterproof gloves, but there's no such thing as waterproof gloves. So your hands are going to just be soaked the whole time.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want that. So I'm completely happy with not having been there. I just feel bad about like entering and doing all the entry stuff. So yeah,
It was not cheap.
yeah.
I mean, we between the two of us, we blew like $300.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Paul, what's your excuse?
Well, I feel like I'm the guilty party bringing you guys down.
I
So,
don't. No,
it was really
I
I was the catalyst of one that said no. I just don't. We've been nice and warm. we're all acclimated for warmer weather, and it was supposed to be pouring down rain, and it ended up doing it like 2 hours later than they said.
Yeah.
Talked to Winston, who does the TNT ride, and he did it.
He did the whole deal.
He did the whole thing. He said it really didn't come down for the first 2 hours, and then a monsoon. It just like dumped. And he says he didn't get cold because he was already sweated from the first 2 hours. So that probably would have saved our hide. But my hands, as I've complained, and you've actually witnessed years ago.
Yeah.
They are bad. My hands.
There's a specific name for it. My wife always says it. Renats.
I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even 60-degree weather, I'll have white fingertips. Like they're kind of cold right now. I can put a dent in it and see it.
Jesus.
Yeah, so.
Wow.
I can't grab brakes. It's nothing. It's just like.
Can't feel
So,
it.
Well,
I lost my Belgian card for not doing it. So I apparently talk a big talk.
Well, and that's why I said, are we stuck, or do we suck, or are we smart? I felt horribly guilty all night long because we all made the decision the night before, and I felt guilty, and I woke up because I'm old to go to the bathroom and pee at like 4:00 in the morning, and I had my face up against the glass trying to see through the darkness if it was raining or not, because I was just gonna be like, God damn it, if it's dry, I'm fucking going. And I went back to bed, and I didn't wake up till after the actual start. So, and it wasn't really raining here, but it was raining in Coeur d'Alene. Yeah. So I just.
Well, raining is one thing. If it would have rained if it was like in the 60s, when you're acclimated for 80 plus, but when it's going to be 40 and raining,
Now you mentioned a great reasoning behind our decision, and you said something along the lines of, if there was more than some cookies and a shirt and a medal on the line.
Yeah. I said, I'm not going to go out there and suffer, 6 hours in the pissing rain for a T-shirt and a fucking medal I'm going to throw in the garbage, is how I put it. If it was a stage race, of course, I wouldn't even bat an eye, or district championships and stuff. I don't care what the weather is. I don't care about suffering, but it's pretty much $100 group ride is what you're doing.
Yeah.
And we hadn't raced, and that's what I did back in 2018. I did it because I just didn't race that much, and I thought I'm going to get some kind of competitive feeling doing this, and it worked, back then, and I was hoping it would happen again, but I'm not going to. I lost my
Jackson. Do you need a prize on the line in order to do something, or is it? I mean, just in terms of was there guilt?
No, which was weird. It was one of those things. It was like in Ellensburg, I just had a feeling that I probably wouldn't see the finish line there. And with this, like I was never like that connected to the event for some reason. Like I never just had a feeling like, oh, I'm so excited for this. Like with BWR, I was connected to it because I knew we were going to do it. But with this, it was like, oh yeah, I got to ride 116 miles. Like I was telling my coworkers that last weekend. It was like, oh yeah, I got to do this. Like it was just kind of like a remembrance, and that's not to say it was important. It wasn't important to me. It was just like I never felt connected to it, so I almost like never felt like it was going to happen in the first place. So I never like prepped myself for the guilt. But then like I did see like one of the ODZ riders posted about how he finished it and everything, and I was like, oh, would I have been there at the end with like the lead riders? But then I was also like, I probably would have caught a cold after that, and then is it worth risking it for not going to work?
Yeah.
All those things started to go through my mind, and I was like, I'm happy we went to Oktoberfest. Like, that was a lot of fun.
We did go down to Oktoberfest.
Which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
It was deliciously good.
Yeah. And so, like, it was... it made up for it, is what I was saying.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And I planned on going. I told you guys I was heading down.
Yeah.
But I had a couple of beers before, and I have to drive. That's why my local pizza place is always
stumbling distance.
Home.
Yeah, that's nice.
And with my job, that would be a bad thing to get a DUI.
Yeah.
Didn't have to ride home with Dave?
No, we tried the riding before. That ended up disastrous. Yes, good callback on that one.
Yeah. Now, what's killing me the most is, and I'm not going to blame this directly on the party I'm going to mention, but I am now I'm unable to ride this weekend. It's going to be in the 70s here in Spokane. I'm unable to ride this weekend because I'm headed to Montana, of all places, for a wedding.
Oh yeah,
an outdoor wedding.
Yep.
Don't think I'm going, full bore into some COVID hyper exposure event, super spreader. But it's my cousin's getting married, and I'm gonna go.
And the reception's in the barn.
It actually is in a barn. Yeah. How did you know that?
Well, it's Montana.
Yeah, Montana.
So I don't get to ride this weekend, and I'm just a little bit pissed.
Got to plan a big old ride then this week.
You fuckers.
I can't make it. See, I can't make it Saturday for sure, and that's the nicest of the 2 days at 80 degrees.
Yeah.
I have my granddaughter. We're taking up to Green Bluff. For those that don't know, it has a lot of orchards and fun things and corn maze,
pumpkin spiced everything, and all that kind of shit. It was just cheesy, but it's cool.
Yeah,
it's
little
cool.
kids love it. So
yeah. I can't believe I'm going to ask this. I ask you guys all the time about time off, but has anybody contemplated setting up the trainer yet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah, you offered that TV in the stand that's sitting back there.
Yeah.
So I started figuring things out, and lumber prices are coming down, so I'm going to fix my bike room up.
Okay.
I'm going to do what you're doing.
Are you?
Yeah.
So we can have a studio at your house?
Yeah.
I'm
going to have heat in mine.
You're going to have electricity up to code. I plugged in the trainer this weekend. I plugged it in. It's over there. It's plugged in. It's ready to go. I haven't fired up Zwift or anything crazy like that yet, but it's happening. It's happening. Jackson, have you contemplated any of this shit yet?
Oh yeah, weather's getting colder in the mornings when I'm shivering. That just kind of it means something. So, and like yesterday, I was riding and it was like 4:30, and I looked outside and I was like, I got to get going or else it's gonna be dark. And so it's like I've been thinking about it, especially with the weekend. Don't want to be rained on, don't want to be cold all the time. So it's coming. I just got to figure out how the hell to put a disc brake bike on my Wahoo kicker. So you can do it. It's just
because of the through axles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty easy to do it. I
think they have an adapter or something. Like that.
They do. I've got it. It's just
okay.
I'm too particular about it.
Come get your old bike.
I might do that.
Yeah,
because I did the
knighthood
on
that thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
I did the knighthood on that. So
absolutely,
I know it's comfortable.
It fits. Yeah. Sam fits.
It's faster because it's got rim brakes.
If it's standing still, all right.
All right. I just realized in all of my transferring of everything over, I do not have the news theme, even though we're going to get to headlines. So I guess my only choice is to pick the news headline. Let's get to the headlines, shall we? News brought to us by Athletic Brewing, multiple gold medal winning craft brewers of non-alcoholic greatness, everybody. Go to the link at Packfiller. You'll thank me, as will your waistline. Should I stop this stupid theme? I probably should. I should probably stop this stupid theme. I'm going to put the news back on. I swear to God, this is a professional podcast. I'm doing all this shit by myself, and I just want credit for that. The wonderful world of worlds has begun, you guys. They're starting out gently with us. The TT event's happening first. In a thrilling conclusion, Filippo Ganna, you guys. Did somebody in this room picked Filippo Ganna? I can't remember who it was. Oh, yeah, it was me. He defended his rainbow jersey in the elite men's time trial at the UCI World Championships, beating out Wout van Aert. Is there anything that guy's not going to not be in the top three in? I guess I'll get to those questions. By just 5 seconds, he broke Belgian hearts all across the world to home course, home everything. Remco rounding out the top three. Wout had the fastest time at both intermediate time checks, and Ganna measured his effort to perfection. So there we go. So, my first question was who picked whom, and wait, did Pat get it right? Oh yeah, those are both questions that I don't really need to ask. Although I'm going to confess, it was a pretty fucking easy pick. I mean, it was either that or
Stefan
Kuhn.
Kuhn.
Yeah. And little did we know that two Belgians were going to sneak in there. Am I the only one that's having to eat his words about time trials being boring to watch?
Yes.
Jackson?
Jackson did.
I still think they're boring as hell.
Did you watch it?
Nope.
You didn't?
I didn't watch it because I knew what was going to happen. It's tough to get to a point in time trialing where we don't see Filippo Ganna win it on most cases. So it's once in a blue moon that we don't see him on the top step of these type of races.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. But there's always that moment, especially with Wout on the first time check. He was like 34 seconds up. And then the second one was like less than a second. I knew things were going south. But I thought it was going to be a little bigger deficit than 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Even when you see Ganna rolling in, you're thinking, no, how far is that? Because of the camera. You don't know how close he is.
Yeah, because they're really tight on it.
And you're like, and of course I wanted Wout to win, I didn't care about Remco. I like Remco because he's Belgian, but, Wout's been silver, in the Olympics and also the last Worlds, and,
always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Although he wins a shit ton of races.
Yes, he does. And he's not a specialist like Ganna.
Yeah, exactly. So, in the women's event, Ellen van Dijk from the Netherlands, shocker. The Netherlands.
Who called that?
What? Oh, was that you, Paul?
That was me.
That was you, Paul. Okay. Who would have thought that the Netherlands would secure another rainbow jersey? 8 years after winning her first title in 2013 in the time trial, which was a fucking impressive ride. She covered the 30.3K flat route with a winning time of 36:05. Wow. Do the math on that one. That's bread truck. That's Holland Beans. Over 50 K per hour.
Yeah, there you go.
KPH. Yeah. To beat Marlon Russier of Switzerland by 10 seconds, which was, again, another quick. Annemiek van Vleuten rounded out the bronze with third at 24 seconds. And then the next, I do want to mention kudos to Amber Neben for pulling out fourth, but I think she was over a minute down, which is which is big
in cycling. It's big
in a 30K TT. But any surprises that you guys saw in terms of that? I know, Jackson, you probably didn't even watch it, did you?
No, but I will say that I think that Ellen van Dijk, didn't she also win the Euro road race as well?
Yeah.
It's a tough name to look past at this point.
Yeah. She's hauling ass right now. Yeah, she definitely is. Paul, anything that surprised you in terms of that?
I thought Stefan Kuhn on the men's side, I thought he was going to do at least be on the podium, and he won the Euro TT, and so I thought for sure he was at least on the podium, but nope.
There's a story I do need to get to, which I is going to bring the show down a little bit. But tragedy struck Flanders this last week on the eve of the start of the championships itself. Former pro Chris Anker Sorensen, he was a co-commentator for Danish television there. He was struck by a driver while riding, just out for a ride, and died of his injuries. He was just 37. He had just turned 37 on September 5th. We can't necessarily pin any blame here, but let's admit he was an incredibly experienced cyclist, as could possibly be. He had all the proper protective gear. He knew how to ride. I guarantee the guy probably did nothing wrong. I guarantee probably. But anyway, and he lost the battle with a multi-ton box of rolling metal. I'm not anti-car, but by any means, I'm saddened greatly by this and extremely concerned about the increase of these incidents. I don't know if I expect a commentary on this kind of stuff, but shit. I mean, when's this? it's never going to get any better. I started venting about it at Oktoberfest after about 3 beers, and my wife shut me down immediately. She says, "Okay, asshole, I've seen you looking for music on your phone while you're driving a car." And so I guess I can't cast any stones, but fuck.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess I have nothing else to say, but we toast to the memory of Chris Anker Swords, and so Godspeed, sir. In case you guys didn't know, he's an incredible climber and stage racer. Won a stage at the Dauphiné in 2008. He went on to win stage 8 of the Giro and served as an incredible, important domestique to riders like Andy Schleck. Schleck went to Radio Shack Sorensen. He led Saxo Bank at the 2012 tour. So, a great rider and big loss. So there we go. So there's that one. Sorry. This one's for Paul. Hey, you guys. I'm going to try to hold my clipboard up, but I want to read this word for word. 4 years after disc brakes took their first win in the World Tour, Ineos Grenadiers have announced they will finally move away from rim brakes and use disc brakes at the GP Denain on Tuesday. Perhaps, that's today. Perhaps a test for Paris-Roubaix in early October and in the long-term future. The news is certain to ruffle feathers among rim brake purists who will be quick to remember Egan Bernal's Giro d'Italia win and Richard Carapaz's Olympic gold race gold, both of which were aboard rim brake bikes. It's good Jack's not here. You guys can just stare each other down now. Widespread adoption of the technology in both racing and leisure aspects of cycling. Ineos, their move is likely to speed up obsolescence of the rim brake concept altogether. First of all, do you think that's the case? Or do you think we got a little bit longer with our rim brake bikes? Was it a matter? You said it's a matter of time in your text. I'd like to open the floor first to Paul, to commiserate, to accept defeat, or to hold on tooth and nail like the old man telling us to get off his fucking lawn.
Well, yeah. If I had it my way, for many reasons, they wouldn't go away in racing. Yeah. I think they're good for, and I've mentioned in almost any discipline or a weekend rider or something, they're fine. But there's too many flaws at this point in time. But manufacturers want to, what wins on Sunday sells on Monday type attitude. So I knew it was just a matter of time, and I said that to a friend of mine who owns a wheel company. He says, I'm going to stop making rim brakes, and this was like 3-4 years ago, and I said, it's only a matter of time. I said the same thing. It's the manufacturers have said, they're not going to budge at all.
Yeah.
The biggest drawback is I wish manufacturers offer a rim brake just for the simple fact of cost and weight. The things that I like about rim brakes. The weight of my bike compared to disc brake bike, it's like 1.5 pounds difference. And for somebody who's a slug up hills, the idea of towing another, pound and a half. So, and I sent you a link of Mikhail Kukowski going across the cobblestones using the iron brake forest. If you look, he's on a disc brake. Pinarello, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I do want a complete side note. I do want to say that footage was amazing, and I never knew that Arenberg was so green, especially the cobbles. I mean, I thought he was cheating because I know there's a specific path next to the cobbles to get through. I honestly thought he was not even on that path. I thought he was just riding a dirt trail. The cobbles look so nasty.
Yeah, they weed it before.
Fuck.
Because it's closed off to all traffic.
Yeah.
And so it just grows weeds in between. So you can imagine they're pulling those things up, or however they remove all those weeds.
They got to just go through there with an industrial weed whacker and just
knock it down. And then a little bit of rain. All that is just mud.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Jackson, are you ready to claim victory for the disc brake world?
It's not even really victory because I knew it was coming. It was gonna happen, especially with Pinarello choosing their Dogma F series to be showcased in a disc brake version. So I knew it was gonna come to Ineos eventually, and it doesn't surprise me. I mean, they're already winning Grand Tours, Roglic is winning the Vuelta on strictly that itself.
Do you think they were holding off? Ineos was holding off for any reason other than personal preference and wheel changes?
I think they were waiting for Pinarello to come out with the new dogma.
You were.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I don't know if there's any other reason at this point.
Yeah, that was available to him before the Tour, and also the Vuelta, but they didn't take it. So whether the mechanics wanted to be more, up to date or practice on the setup and stuff, that could be, because nothing's worse than a rubbing disc.
Yeah.
As you're climbing.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, they're probably and the design of
high
the
scooter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the design supposedly of the new brake caliper, there's more gap so that you won't have.
There's more There's more gap in the
clearance.
between the
clearance. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So they're doing all this shit.
That's why you have to wait. Just ride out your rim brakes until you can't find any more point. And by that time, they'll figure out some way to do a quick release. Hopefully.
Fuck that. Could you?
But you still have problems with switching wheels because you once you get two sets of wheels, you have to make sure they line up because they can be a little bit off and they'll still rub. Especially
those of us in the wheels in, wheels out category.
Yeah.
Where we're dealing with this. Wow, a quick release would be amazing. Why don't we? I know hydraulic is going to be a much more efficient method, but a cable-driven disc brake could almost be more flexible to handle a quick release concept.
Yeah, but they're not that much of an advantage with the cable.
It's not going to grab that well. All right.
I mean, the problem with road bike disc brakes is you need power on the hydraulic side because they're running smaller rotors.
Yeah,
and so you need to have that grip on there. So if they use larger rotors, then, but they're not going to do that because it already weighs more. I mean, it weighs more than. It's the industry's problem now.
So many problems. Speaking of Ineos, later Dave Brailsford has taken a position in higher management, more or less. He's giving direct management of the Ineos Grenadiers team to take a wider leadership role at Ineos Sports. Rod Ellingsworth is the guy who's going to take the team manager role, according to a report by an Italian newspaper. Of course, he helped create this team back with Sky. He did reveal in July that he's overcome prostate cancer and heart surgery in recent years, and he hinted that he may step away from the stressful team management role. Any theories on does the DS make the team? Does the director sportif is that what makes the team? We talked about for a while there about
Mikel Porto.
Yeah, exactly. Some losses that the team has suffered and what it's done to the team in the past. Will loss of Dave Brailsford affect Ineos in the overall in terms of overall opinions? What you guys
Being the
have?
principal?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how the inner workings is, but I guess he's taken on more. Not just cycling, but with this Ineos, there's I think a sailing team, car racing team, soccer team. And if he wants less stress than managing a bike, that sounds like you're juggling now as opposed to focusing on one. So I don't know.
I think that they've had for Ineos kind of a okay year. They were used to winning
They won the Giro.
But they were used to winning all 3 Grand Tours, which is kind of a step down. I was going to say they won a Grand Tour and they won the Olympic gold.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like they wanted all 3, They brought Carapaz and Bernal to the Vuelta. Who did they even bring to the Tour?
No, yeah.
Yeah, it just...
Garant.
We all knew, though,
It's going to find the pavement.
Yeah, exactly. So I wonder if that'll change something. I heard there's a rumor about Bernal as well. So
what? Where's number two? What?
I know. Yeah, I heard on Velo News today on Instagram that there are some ruffling of feathers with Bernal in the Ineos rankings right now. So he could be trying to find another team. There was something about the fact that they're idea of like going to the British rider for their success is kind of like rubbing the Colombian like rain a little bit. So
there's an opening in Movistar.
God, wouldn't
Angle
that be
Lopez
funny?
left.
Yeah.
Or he's out.
Yeah, there's always an opening in movies.
Yeah.
Always, especially for Netflix.
Yeah, no doubt. They gotta have that rotating cast.
Yeah.
You know?
So let's get to the topic at hand, you guys. 2021 World Championship road races. There's a lot of news items surrounding the races, and we're going to focus on the women's and the men's elite events and several details that could affect the outcome this weekend. So there's a lot of news coming over the wires that the big bettors' plans are being altered here. First and foremost, I'm kind of continuing with news, but we're drifting into our coverage of the actual men's and women's road races. First of all, shocker from Sam. Sam Bennett has withdrawn from the Irish team of the race, acknowledging that the event comes too soon to his comeback from the knee injury that interrupted his season in May. I'm reading from prepared text without trying to put my tongue in my cheek. Bennett returned to competition in Irish colors at the European Championships earlier this month, and he subsequently lined out for Deceuninck Quickstep at over the Kampioenschap den Vlaanderen and Goch Pijl, I can't pronounce these names, abandoning all three races. As he said, quote, "It's always an honor to represent Ireland on the international stage. However, unfortunately, competing in this year's World Road Race Championships will not be possible. I'm very happy to be back racing, pain-free, and with each race, I know that my fitness level and race sharpness is improving. However, at this stage, a grueling 260K plus race is probably a step too far." Okay, here's the question. Is Sam legit, or is he just filling out his contract? Are we on the Lefevre side of this deal, or are we on the Sam Bennett side of this equation?
I don't know. I got beef with Sam Bennett at this point.
Oh,
I don't know. In
Jackson's got beef.
in this sport, though, it's like you can't continually drop out and call yourself a cyclist.
No.
Yeah, so it's kind of getting to a point where it's like your knee can hurt a lot, but eventually you got to get back on the bike and not abandon every race just because you might not be winning it. And there is a lot of pressure on the guy. He won the green jersey.
Yeah, the injury might be legit. Yeah.
Yeah. So it could be legitimate, but at the same time, why would you start a race if you're not ready?
I like that. That is well stated.
You know, when he was with Bora, he complained that he didn't get his chances, that type of thing. And, you know, he was second to the Germans, Ackerman and whoever. And so Deceuninck picks him up and, you know, pretty much, you know, lead him to get the green jersey.
Yeah.
And, you know, in that time period, you hear rumbles from people. They're saying he's kind of a
diva.
No, well, I think he lacks confidence. A little, you know,
Really
mentally fragile type person. And so, I think once he hit his pinnacle, I mean, he really broke down when he won his first stage in the Tour with Deceuninck, and then he had the green jersey. I mean, he was constantly in tears, and it's like, you know, at what point do you realize you could have this all the time? So when Lefebvre started making, you know, comments, you know, of course, when it comes from Lefebvre, it's like, oh, geez, do you have to go so harsh? But nevertheless, I think he has a point. I mean, he's proven it right now. Bennett had to fill his contract in order to get paid. That's why he did those races. He at least started, but he never finished. So you're thinking, just freaking finish it. Who cares if you're DNF or dead fucking last or whatever, you know? I don't know.
Nobody knows the extent of his injury except Sam and probably his doctor. So I mean, we can speculate, and I'm going to speculate. I'm going to just go. I think there's a personality conflict. I think there's an injury, but I also think there's an emotional injury also involved in it. And we've been, you know, Tom Dumoulin, you know, said I need a mental break. I need time away from this. I need to get my head straight. I'm going to get out of here. And his team said, go. I don't know if he took a pay cut. I don't know if he got, you know, paid at all. You know, that's behind the scenes, but Tom took his time off and he came back. I don't know if this is, you know, the boy who cried wolf kind of thing going on here, but it seems odd that Sam would even say he's going to line up for the World Championships when he's not ready for it. If there's an injury, give the spot to somebody else, not 2 or 3 days before the fucking race. But so I don't know. He seems like a good dude.
Well, he said that his knee feels fine.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, you read it.
Yeah, I did. But
his knee feels good.
And,
and it's like, well, then why aren't you lining up?
Yeah.
Well, this might be beside the point, but I don't know. To me, it goes back to the idea of, are you the best sprinter in the world, or are you just on to coin a quick step with the best lead out in the world?
Hi, Michael Morkov. Yeah. Who's been on the show, by the way?
Oh, no big deal. He's a
Great guy.
And he didn't like disc brakes for amateur racing.
He didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't. Paul's just holding on to that.
And I'll even go further. Who won the time trial?
Billy Pagano.
What was he on?
Pinarello.
With rim brakes.
I never even pay attention to him, to be honest.
Everybody else had disc brakes, so if everybody's counting watts.
Yeah.
How much watts did Watt lose?
You talking about
in
the weight?
53? No, because there is a wind drag on that.
Oh shit.
There's a coefficient.
Marginal gains my ass.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So-
I'm not saying anything because I've already won.
Okay. Second story, Matthew Vanderpool has confirmed he will ride the race despite recently suffering a back problems which disrupted his training and his race program. He revealed he was suffering from a back problem after he returned home early from a training camp in August in the Alps. But I don't know if you guys saw him racing ever since. What was the race? God, what was it? The Antwerp Port Classic.
Yeah.
Fucking Matthew of old. So things look like he was dealing with herniated disc, fluid between the vertebrae in his back.
Yikes.
Yeah, right?
You don't even sleep well with those.
No, you don't do anything. You
No.
just everything. It's just you can't move. So anybody surprised by Vanderpool's inclusion in the race? No. Head shakes. Yeah, we're all just like, of course he's going to ride. Any changes in your potential picks for the race before we even got to this? No, you're all shaking your head no. Okay. Do I want to ask, without revealing our picks of thoughts of Matthew Vanderpool's chances? The course profile is on the big monitor over your heads, and you guys can see it looks like Bart Simpson's hair.
Or Phil Liggett, a row of shark's teeth.
Row of shark's teeth. I like that better. Yeah. Or, North Idaho's teeth. Sorry to my friends who live in North Idaho, but there's a lot of climbs in that motherfucker. Thoughts on Matthew Vanderpool's potential chances without revealing your picks?
This is the first time I think that Matthew Vanderpool is an outsider for a race.
Oh, wow!
I agree.
Wow!
Was it today or yesterday? He raced. He didn't even finish. I think he got 7th place. He didn't have to get a bike change because he had disc brakes and could get a wheel change. He had a flat at 40K to go, and he had to do a massive because he didn't have rim brakes.
Yeah,
he had to wait for his team car and get a bike.
I did keep this.
Hey, you boys, let's keep sweating out there.
There's no way I'm getting rid of that.
Yeah.
That sound boy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hey, you boys.
Oh, sorry.
yeah, they had teammates, but they can't give him wheels. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's. I don't know, especially now hearing the herniated disc. But he is young and bounce back. And I wouldn't be surprised if he freaking wins it. I wouldn't be surprised. But I don't. I mean, his odds are increased massively in the last week. So
after watching him in the Antwerp Port Classic, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I think he is. I think he's still got a rock star chance. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the course profile, and there are no long climbs. Even though, god damn, we saw him in the Tour, and he didn't necessarily suffer on at least some of the initial stages with some substantial climbs in it. This is all punchy stuff.
Yeah,
and that's right up his alley.
like a cross race.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's 268.3K.
That's a long cross race.
Way. That's a long cross race. So there we go. And it's kind of funny that the next thing was talking about the profile itself. 42 climbs along the way. 42. That's depressing as hell for a lot of us. In comparison to last year's championships, the climbs were small, but the race the climbs are small, but the race is expected to be ridden hard, and riders will likely be all over the place. And weather could play a very important key. I don't know what the forecast is in Antwerp this weekend, but things look like they could be very selective of a course. So as you guys look out, is that, Paul, especially I'm going to ask you, this is your wheelhouse, is that the course of a true Flandrian style of a potential winner?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think some of those climbs are on the Bronsappeal course, I believe.
I heard that on GCN earlier in the week.
Is it?
Yeah. It's not on either Flanders or Roubaix, but it is in that one.
So punchy little climbs.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the weather report.
I'm trying to see if there's any specific climbs that.
So Sunday in Kortrijk, which is to the east of Leuven.
Yeah.
74 degrees and raining.
Oh. Kind of like the Cordofondo. Yeah. Except they're going to do it because there's something on the line.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm trying to zoom in on that.
And money.
Yeah, on that final climb. There is now
light winds.
Okay.
15% chance of rain.
Unfortunately,
pretty low.
The profile we're looking at has the finishing town's name over the topography. Are we looking at a finished climb?
I think it punches up towards the end.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flat to finish, but
it is. Okay.
I think.
Was Sam Bennett smart to stay home? Is this a Sam Bennett course?
Yeah, not in any way.
Right? Yeah. It doesn't look like a sprinter's profile in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at the teams. I gave you guys a roster of what we're looking at in terms of at least entrants up to this point. I know my women's roster might be a little scant in terms of what we're needing, but we've got all the favorites definitely within this list, thanks to our friends at procyclingstats.com. You guys, if you haven't found that site, use it. It is one of the most updated. I think all the commentators are actually using data off procyclingstats.com. Are there any ones, other than the obvious, that look stacked immediately for victory? I mean, I guess we could just go right out of the gates that we all think Belgians. We said this before we went on the air about Belgium's team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Belgium for the men, for sure. And then, obviously, the Netherlands for the women.
Yeah. Let me see. Which one did I decide to go first with? We are going with the men first. So chivalry is dead. So let's look at that list and see what's going on in terms of the teams themselves and which ones look like they have an incredible chance of success. I mean, I'm looking at the Netherlands. Van der Poel, Van Bach Mollema, and Sebastian Langeveld, Danny Van Poppel. That's a good team right there. And that's not the first one that popped into mind.
Check out the last one.
Ecuador?
Eckhorn.
Oh.
He's the one that passed the bottle to the little boy.
From where?
In Netherlands.
From Netherlands. I thought you were talking about the last team on the list. Yeah. Pascal Enkhorn. Yeah. Which is, I guess you know.
Yeah, he might be handling off another bottle to a kid.
To another kid,
yeah.
Because I did see another. I did see another fucking kid sprinting along a stage later on, and he sucked. And he was the Augustus Gloop. He's like, "Mommy, where is my bottle? Where's my tour of the bus?" I was just, I've been getting shit online about the fact that I'm a grumpy asshole, and you know what? I'm going to stick with it. It's my personality. I'm going with it. The Italian team for me: Gianni Moscon, Giacomo Nizzolo, Matteo Trentin, Sonny Colbrelli, and David Ballerini. Holy shit.
That's a good.
That's deep as hell. I have to mention the United States because it's my job, because we're from the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Denmark doesn't look too bad either.
Oh, Denmark looks really good.
Yeah. So there we go. I guess we do have some depth, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So I would like you guys to, number one, ask me the riders that stand out to you, and then second of all, if you had to pick three riders for your world's picks, who would they be, and I guess why? Anybody want to jump into this fiery ring of hell?
So just some riders that interest me, and then my top three.
Top three, yeah.
I mean, of course, Vanderpool. I thought Joao Almeida looks interesting. Kwiatkowski, some of those names. Benoit Cosnefroy for an outsider, I think could be an interesting one. But I think, and of course, Peter Sagan.
You're sticking with Peter.
I'm not picking him, but
okay. You're saying
he's
he stands out.
He could be an outsider. There are a lot of them in there, and Magnus Kort is a rider to watch.
Yeah.
But my top three. So Wout van Aert is going to be my safety pick. He's in too good a form to not pick, but I will say right now that I don't think he's going to win, because I think everybody's going, Wout is in such good form, let's mark him.
Okay.
That's what happened last year. I think I'm picking. My theme of my picks are three hard men: Wout, Primoz Roglic. I think he has that punchy kind of style in him that he can last the distance, but also stick with the attacks, because he's an explosive rider, like that type would be. And then who I think, I don't know what it is, but I have a feeling about it, who I think is going to win the World Championships this year.
I don't have a drum roll, I don't think.
I know I'm making it so dramatic. I think Tom Pidcock's going to win this year. He's had a full season behind him, and I think he's going to win. Those are my three picks.
You heard it here first, everybody.
Yep.
Wow. I sound like Owen Wilson tonight, just because of the wow. I'm saying it a lot. Paul Main, you got your notoriety.
Yeah, I don't. These are people that will stick out. I'll always put Vanderpool in there, without a doubt. And I agree with Magnus Kort.
Yeah.
And then also there's Croy Anderson. The Danes look really good. But I am going to, for my three picks, I'm going with, of course, Wout. He's Belgian. I have to go with that. And Casper Askren is going very, very well. And he did well in the TT. He's won Flanders. This is his type of course. Punchy. He's a strong man. And then Sonny Cambrelli. Oh, man, that guy is totally on form. So... And when I was in Belgium, yes, I've been there.
What?
Yeah. Two.
Oh, it's over here.
Yeah.
I got too many monitors to fucking worry about anymore. There we go.
What?
Yeah. He was leading, a good part of the race of Flanders when I was there.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I recognized him. It's like, what? Who's this guy with a stupid gold helmet? So. Anyway. Yeah, so I have him.
Okay.
Askren. Colbrelli, and
Askren, Colbrelli, and Wout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm picking Wout for one of my riders too. So we basically just cancel him out. If Wout wins, none of us win, or we all win. I guess we're going with the obvious there. Riders that stick out to me are obviously Mathieu van der Poel, Julien Alaphilippe. I watched Julien Alaphilippe. The guy's got fuel in the tank. He is not going to go down without a fight. And I watched some of his performance in is it
Tour
Luxembourg?
He was
in Luxembourg?
He was in Britain.
He's in Britain. And I was impressed with all the stuff he did there.
Who kept beating him in Britain?
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I that's what I'm saying. I think I agree with you guys in the sense that everybody's going to be staring at him.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to slow him down, Wout van Aert. I think
No.
he's going to still he finds ways to make it happen still.
The pressure's on the team, on the Belgian team.
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
That
It's so deep.
they have to control that
And
from the get-go.
I'm seeing a little bit of Evenepoel wanting that focus and that attention, and it might be youth. But there you go. Joao Almeida is riding incredibly well, and he's not just he's an overall contender. He's the guy. I've been watching him. He was in Netherlands, not Netherlands. I'm drawing a blank. He was in that race I just watched last week. Luxembourg.
Yeah.
Rode incredibly well, and I'm seeing amazing stuff from him. But my 3 riders are going to be Wout van Aert. I'm picking Magnus Kort from Denmark, and I'm picking Mark Hirschi from Switzerland. Hirschi's riding really well, and I think he's the kind of guy that could pull a surprise on that. So those are my. So we all picked 2 different guys. We all picked Wout, but we all picked 2 different guys. Okay, so that could get interesting. We don't need to make it interesting by putting anything on the line.
Yeah, what else do I
but
gotta
there we
do?
should go. Yeah. So there we go. We put our names on the line. It is Sunday. How are you guys? How are you guys watching? I mean, how
Flow
is
Bikes.
it? Is it Flow Bikes? It is Flow Bikes. I turned on the time trial on Sunday, and immediately a graphic came up, and it was 3 guys standing in a podium. One of them was Ghana, and I almost lost my shit. But then I realized it was from last year's time trial, so I was a little upset before, and then I realized, okay, let's get that. Let it go. Let it go. Yeah. So there we go. Okay, let's jump to our topics here since our world's coverage is ready to go. I mean, I guess that's all we got, right? No, we didn't do the women's race. We didn't do the women's race. Women's race, you guys. My question is, number 1, is the Dutch team unstoppable?
Yep.
Yeah?
No.
No. Okay, I'm hoping, Jackson, that you're right. I really am hoping that you're right. Because I'm not tired of them, but tell me some people on on that start list that might look strong enough to topple that Dutch powerhouse.
For sure. Yeah, I think Elisa Longo-Borghini.
Thank you.
I also think Kasia Niewiadoma from Poland, who's always in the top 3, had kind of a rough year, but I think could do something really impressive. And then I also think Lotte Kopecky from Belgium is another one, especially being her home race.
at
There's
home, yeah.
there's going to be some heart behind that. Obviously, your other names, Mavi Garcia, Mariana Vos, except she's Dutch, so
Yeah. Anybody
Yeah, I agree
else?
with
Yeah,
him.
Jackson.
Those are the ones that stand out.
You dialed it in perfectly. Do we go with 3?
Yeah.
We go with 3.
Yep.
Jackson, I've still got the camera on you, so you might as well just go with it.
I think you'd be a fool to not pick Annemiek van Vleuten. I'm not going to pick Anna van der Breggen.
You're not.
Nope. I think she's had a lack of form, and I think that she knows that she's retiring soon. I'm also going to pick Demi Vollering. And then I will pick Lotte Kopecky. Like I said, there's a lot of heart behind her home race, so she's going to want to win.
Okay. Paulie?
I picked Ellen Van Dyke.
That's double up.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
Double up. Okay.
Lisa, now you think I would know because it's German, Brennauer.
Okay.
And then I like Celie Utrip Ludwig.
Yeah.
Just that's a hard pick because I like her, and she was pretty ticked off at the Olympics because the way everybody raced, and she shamed everybody. And I think the race, because they don't have any radios,
Yeah.
so I think the alarm bells went off after the Olympics, where the women are going to probably take a little, because that race was kind of a cluster.
Yeah.
And not to take away from the winner, but still, people were misguided.
Go with Anna van der Breggen, just because, I got to pick somebody who's Dutch. I'm going with Corn Rivera because I'm just gonna pick an American. I'm just hoping.
She
for
just got
something.
married, I think.
She did. Yeah. So she's getting probably other things on her mind.
Yeah.
Fuck the race.
Yeah.
And I am my prime pick from day one is my rider that I've been rooting for forever. I'm going with Lisa Longo Borghini. I think she's going to do it. I think this is the year. Come on. Please. I would love to see it happen.
Speaking of marriages, you know why Roglic didn't make it to the TT?
He's engaged.
He got
married. And
Oh, he got
Pogacar got
married.
engaged.
Yeah, he got engaged.
Pogacar got engaged.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking he got married on the TT day.
Yeah.
I'm going to say for your pick for the road race, he might be a little weak in the legs. This is his honeymoon period. So,
Or full of swimmers.
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Well, wait, no. Would he? No, he wouldn't be. Right?
He'd be empty.
Well.
He'd be empty.
You know what they say, don't have sex before your race day, right?
I know.
Well, yeah. I don't think they say that anymore. So there we go, you guys. So, worlds, all I ask is you don't text me on Sunday morning because I'm going to be at a wedding. I'm going to be not arriving home from the wedding until probably 7 or 8 o'clock at night. So my entire Sunday, I'm going dark. I am not going to pay attention to a single fucking thing on the internet because I know it's just going to ruin it for me. I turn on my phone and something will happen.
You're not going to watch it over there?
Actually, in the morning, I probably could.
Yeah, you can.
I probably could because the wedding's not till the afternoon. Never
Yeah.
mind. I'll be
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll get up, piss off my wife in the hotel room,
Mm-hmm.
and just sitting in the corner with my headphones on,
There
a
you go.
glowing screen in my face, in my underwear. There's a visual for you.
Oh, no.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't like that.
So there we go, you guys. Let's jump to the topic brought to by our friends at Scratch Labs. You guys fuel your effort, keep it real, and make sure it tastes great. Trust me, Scratch has all that and more. To get to scratchlabs.com, and don't forget the spice cider flavor that's coming out. And they redo it every year for the cold weather days, and it's really
It is
good.
good.
I just put it. Sometimes I'll just drink that in my thermos at work. It's good, and I perform better at work. I tell kids to pull the mask up over their nose with a little bit more friendliness in my voice. So here's what I wanted. You guys didn't even know this one was coming, but with my weekend down here, I want to talk about your space. Your spaces, where you have. Jackson's just moved into new digs. Paul was just talking about the fact that lumber's low and he's going to remodel his and things like that. So I've been thinking a lot about this kind of stuff. A shop to work on bikes, a place to store them, however as many as there may be. I intentionally paused after that one because I have too many. A place to ride them for those of us that can't get outside year round. And finally, a place just to be a cycling lunatic. So let's start out here. I guess I'll start. Tell me about your space. Do you have a space? Number one, yeah, I have the entire basement of this house, other than the areas that are not used for laundry, and that's always been a godsend. But this room we are in right now was a dark, all concrete, was not lit potting room. Where honestly there were tables, there were pots, there was dirt on the floor, there was a drain in the center of the floor, and it smelled like slugs and radon gas. That's basically what it was. I wish I would have took pictures of it originally because it was depressing as hell. And I remember telling my wife I wanted to put a studio in this room and then knock out that wall and go towards that way with the rest of the room. She said, fine, I think you're an idiot because it smells down here. But here we are now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Big boy.
Got a lot.
So do you have a space and give me a description of where that space is? Jackson, tell me now that you have a space.
Yeah. I'll tell you about my previous space and then I'll tell you about my new space. So in Portland, I lived in a 600 square foot apartment, and you can only have so much space there. So I rode Zwift in my bedroom, carpeted bedroom, which was the worst.
Fully heated.
Yep, fully
Yeah.
heated. It was awful. But we made do with what we could, and with that little space, you gotta. Now I leveled up to a 900 some square foot, so I have 300 more square feet, which means my cat Jimmy and I get to share a room.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got
Clean
a
that litter box before you go.
Oh yeah, that could get a little
Yeah.
funky.
It's nice though to have your own place to be able to do that type of stuff where you're not always having to build up, tear down the stuff. It's really nice. I'm excited for it. I've got a little stand for my laptop and just the kicker and everything, but I've got the mat and also I don't ruin the floors. It's going to be a lot better, especially being on the ground floor.
Paul, I know you've got space, and I remember I do also want to ask you about the she shed you built and how that's turning out.
She's still using it.
Oh, she is.
Yeah,
Okay.
Good.
yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, I'll give her 5 years, and it'll be mine or Dave's. Yeah,
Dave
Oh,
will
yeah.
just sleep there.
yeah. He said, "Just give me a 5-gallon bucket. I don't need a toilet. I'll bring it in the morning and flush it. That is not my toilet."
Yeah.
I've lived in the same spot since 1991, and there's been one designated area where I store my bikes in. I had like a shop-rated park bike stand, but it doesn't do so well with carbon fiber.
Yeah.
So I sold that to a teammate of mine in the past, and got a different stand that's a little more carbon friendly. But I used to train in there, and it's the coldest part of the house.
Coldest room. Yeah.
Don't like that. I like it. So I finished another
Really?
part of the basement. Oh, I like sweating. I like heat, and just a little bit of fan movement is
Yeah.
all I need. I don't do well in the cold, but I finished another part of the basement. We call it the TV room, and it's about 230 square feet, and we got our largest TVs in there. So that's where I would train and watch videos, and but again, you're sweating. I use a yoga mat to put down underneath my rollers, and
Sure.
sometimes it moves and it gets drags on the rollers, and so that's why I got to finish my bike room. I got plans.
What are now? I'm talking also in terms of repair space where you work on your bikes and things like that. What amenities do you wish you could add, or what you had in these specific spaces?
I have recently realized, well, I have another story about when I realized I'm getting older, but that's for another time. But a thing that I've realized that I'm getting a little older with is I want a hose. A place to hook up a hose, which I figured out today. I have one right outside my apartment.
Nice.
So I'll be able to
Up by the
Clean your
deck,
bike?
up by the patio out there, or?
by the front door.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if my apartment complex lets me or doesn't know about it, then I'll be able to. So, but anyways, a hose. That's a thing that I've always wanted, because I recently cleaned my bike off with a hose, and I realized that it does so much more than you can do by yourself just by spraying a rag and wiping it down. It's like, it's so much
'Cause
better.
all that dirt also falls, especially if you're doing your repair work
Yeah.
in a room of your upstairs house. You got dirt falling all over the place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a hose is something I think I've really wanted, or just a place where, like, I know that what is it? Muck Off makes like a thing that like a pressure washer
Yeah.
that you can just have like a little weed sprayer thing
Yeah.
that was really attractive, especially for apartment living.
Correct me if I'm wrong. That shit's expensive.
Oh, especially if it's Muck Off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was afraid of. So that's your only required improvement? I mean, if
the tools, you know.
Tools? Yeah.
Yeah,
You just build up an arsenal of tools. Yeah.
But
Do you have a workbench per se, or do you just kind of work out of a out of a toolbox?
now I do. Yeah. So we had our kitchen hutch that we realized our kitchen has an island in it that we have moved to the garage. That is now kind of like my little area that I need to organize sometime soon. But I have like a little place to keep my bike tools and my food, all that stuff, which is it. I never realized how nice it was to have storage for that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Until you actually have it. Because last time I was keeping it in this little like wicker Santa pants basket thing. That's where my tools were. But now they have a place, which is so crazy to me.
Yeah. Paul, tell me about your what amenities you wish you could add, or especially because I know that
I will be adding.
You will be adding.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're talking about washing bikes. I recently purchased Works WRX. They make it's just a small, battery operated pressure washer. You can use a hose or a a 2-liter bottle. So I can get hot water. I have a faucet I can drag a hose into. That's right next to the bike room, so I can spray it with hot water. So that I'll do in the back, so it can ice up in the back and not anywhere else. And so I'll have that. Parts cleaner is something I will be getting, like you have purchased.
Yeah. Haven't fired it up yet.
Yeah.
Still sitting on the bench.
That helps a lot because usually, as much as I try and go green as possible, the biodegradable stuff is you're scrubbing and scrubbing stuff.
Yeah.
So having something that actually works.
I did buy ultrasonic. I did buy simple green to use in the ultrasonic,
Yeah.
so hopefully that'll work. But
yeah. There's other. Well, the thing is that's constantly reusing until you have to dump it, as opposed to spraying it down and washing it. You know, that crap down there.
Yeah.
So I'll have a place for the TV and stand, which will be nice. I've always trained down there with a small little, like the old-fashioned TV and VCR.
Okay.
And and I've got several old pictures that I've saved from Peru-Roubaix and everything, but I'm gonna doctor it up and do better, make it a little more professional, sheetrock it, heat it, that type of thing. Work stand is collapsible, so I can get that out of the way instead of just consuming a certain part, like the old park stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just took up so much space. So I cut down the number of bikes. I will have a workbench and toolbox all in one, and buy a new true stand. But I don't true wheels as much as I used to.
I don't either. Yeah.
Because with carbon wheels, they don't go out of true. If they do go out of true, they're pretty much shit.
Gotta get a new wheel.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to attempt. I don't know if I'd attempt spoke tension on a carbon wheel. That would just scare the shit out of me.
Break it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's more tools. I have plenty of tools, but there's more tools as things change.
Yeah.
Obviously, disc brake tools I'll have to get. I talked to Bike Fit Sam about getting some bearing pullers to get out for hubs and replace some of the, that we can share. All of us can share, because we all don't need, bearing pullers.
Yeah.
Because you use it like once every 3 years, Well,
that's like, I shouldn't have bought my ultrasonic because Scooter, one of our teammates, says he bought a gigantic one. And he says, please just borrow mine because it's huge and my wife needs me to justify why I bought it. And I should have done that. I should have just done that. Because mine's not very big, but it's, I'm tired of saying that in my life. But but it, it's gonna get the job done. So things I wish I had down here, less clutter.
Well,
I'm really working on less clutter.
I can see that. Yeah.
There's a lot of bikes that I'm really emotionally tied to that I should probably give away if people want them. I don't know if juniors want old school rim brake bikes anymore. And I've got Jackson's first mountain bike down here, which I just need to put out in the front yard and say free, and give to somebody and things like that. I would love better heat down here, but then again, I do like super cold when I Zwift. I want my nipples to cut glass when I'm down here.
Wow.
Yeah, and because I like it super cold, and so and I come down here. And in the shop space with no heaters on, I know the people who listen to this show know my space heaters and that kind of stuff like that. You hear it in the background. I turn all of them off, and I want it to be a good 15 to 20 degrees colder than it is upstairs in the house. And when I'm doing, and I've still got fans, 2 or 3 fans on me. So
yeah,
that's my thing. I would love a one of those. I can't believe my guilty pleasure purchase is one of those stupid Wahoo fans. No offense to one of our own sponsors. Yeah, it pairs to your heart rate monitor, so it can blow up to 30 miles an hour in your face if you wanted to. I think it's cool. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, oh yeah.
How about the dork realm of it, Paul? You were talking about the posters and stuff like that, and the jerseys and stuff like that. Jackson, do you have permission to hang any of that stuff yet? If you were into that kind of thing in a room?
Oh yeah. So in the garage, I've actually started to hang my numbers. So I hung.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I hung BWR, and I also did Ellensburg. So I really want to make this space and I think my girlfriend and I have talked about this, but we really want to make it ours. And I think that is going to be one of those things, is to just kind of make it ours. If in the garage I could put like my cycling stuff up and have it like be in a place where it can be displayed, which I think is like is a special thing to me. So I'm happy that we could do that, but I don't really have a lot of that memorabilia through cycling that I do. Like I have a Seattle Sounders flag, but I don't have any like cycling based stuff just because my life is lived through another sport. But I am excited to be able to kind of put things on the walls that mean something to me. Yeah.
Paul, I know you've got stuff.
Oh yeah,
I know you've
do.
got all kinds of cool shit too.
I've got cobblestones from different parts of different cities. I have, the first one started with a friend of mine who raced over in Belgium, Nicholas Kreider, and he came back with a cobblestone from Ghent.
Shit.
And so my trips to Europe, and they usually have a story. I've got one from Prague, one from Budapest, and one from Zurich. So I have those.
Jesus.
And then the last time I went to Paris-Roubaix, Dave and I were at the end of the race. I've been there.
Yeah.
We were walking down Orchy, and the race is over, and we're just walking down, and there was a Jumbo-Visma water bottle that got ran over. Obviously popped out and got ran over. Yeah. Everybody sweeps the...
Garrett hit it.
Yeah, Garrett. He went down.
Yeah.
There's blood on it,
Yeah.
But it's totally like ripped, the lid, not even the lid, but right at the shoulder of those things is just ripped back. So I have that. I still got dirt. I've got Flemish flags when I was in Flanders that I still have that they handed out. So you're waving so the camera sees.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff from the trips, but I have a picture of the Roubaix showers, and a friend of mine who's a fellow
not while
inspector.
people were in there, like
no,
Sean
it's empty.
Degenkolb's like,
yeah.
God
dang it!
Paul's just
Thank you. Who are you?
Yeah.
I'm a perv. So, but it's just the showers is kind of like taken above, and that's iconic little picture. And I have a friend whose wife runs R&R Color here, and they can actually take those pictures and blow them up and put them on like a metal plate, so it's like
oh wow,
yeah, and then they can like enhance color and stuff.
Oh wow,
so that's going to be the draw right there. So yeah, I have some ideas.
Yeah. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. My wife is a budding interior designer, and she was down here with me. And by the way, the flag hanging behind me is not going to be here permanently. It's I don't want it to look like I'm some sort of a terrorist giving a manifesto, in front of their own flag.
Right.
You know, it just feels like that, doesn't it? No, we're gonna put a whole bunch of stuff up down there, and then the far wall behind Jackson is we're gonna design this kind of a pegboard design, but it's not gonna be the tiny little tool pegboard.
Slot board more.
Yeah, I'll be able to put up shelves and put up some of the memorabilia on that, and the funny thing is the beer fridge is. She was looking at it and she's going, you should paint this. You should get a color. And then she stopped and she went, no, you should leave it the way it is because it's got so many fucking stickers on the front of it. Yeah, you would
spend years scraping that off.
Yeah, well, even just put like a paper over the front of it. We were talking about, but then she saw some of the stickers, and some are pretty old up there. But it's made to hold out until the beer fridge dies. But my last question: do any of you guys? Am I the only one that gets pissed off when people call it a man cave?
I would if I ever had one. I think I've got a while till I've got one of those, but it's more of a workspace or a free thinking area, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
But no, it never pisses me off.
It doesn't?
It is what it is. I guess we're calling it a she shed.
You don't
Not
call
to
that
her.
to my wife. No. It's a cottage.
It's a cottage. Well, that's nice.
A cottage.
That's nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I don't care what people call it. My family's always called it the bike room.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
and
cool. I could deal
if
with
they
that.
couldn't find me, they knew where I was. I
Yeah.
was in the bike room, and the tick 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 of a free wheel. They knew. They
Oh.
could trace it out. Yeah. Dad's in the bike room.
This room's the studio, that room's the shop. That's what I call them, and it's a messy shop right now because I just keep getting more stuff. I'm cleaning minimizing this room, but I'm all putting it in there until I can get rid of all the stuff. So, come take that TV when you get a chance.
Yeah, I'm trying to pack it out tonight. Maybe.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Because that enhances your or maybe give you impetus to finish up what you're doing.
The mess in there.
Yeah, get
Shit.
one more thing out of the
If
way.
anybody needs a rim brake bike, come talk to me. Except I can't see. My thing is like there's a Schwinn Hollywood in there, which is an old school cruiser.
Yep.
Can't get rid of that. There's the Peugeot, the carbon Peugeot classic.
Don't
Can't get rid of that. What else is in there?
You do have just steel frames.
Well, one of them I built. The other one's a classic track bike frame. Which I'm probably get rid of that.
Who built that one? What's the name?
That's an old Raleigh.
A Raleigh track bike.
Yeah.
Could have made a Fixie.
Yeah. I could sell
Still
it.
can.
I couldn't do that. I don't think I could live with myself if I sold it to a Fixie. Although I bet it'd go for
Do
probably
people still ride Fixies?
Oh
I don't
yeah.
see
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't
They
see
still
too many
ride
in
that.
That's where I came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Spokane was a rage, and then it's kind of
And,
like died
and
out.
wool
but-
knickers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and skinny straight bars.
Exactly.
Small.
Yeah.
Still a thing.
Really?
Portland, Oregon.
Okay. I don't have anything against it. I mean, they're out there riding. Sometimes they're out there riding with no lights and no helmet.
cigarette out of their
They're
mouths.
yelling
Yeah.
at people for getting in their way. But oh well, what you gonna do? We're here to increase the peace. Right?
There we
That's
go.
right. Didn't we say that? We're all two-wheeled riders
Yep.
together. Okay. Well, you guys. Send that's a fun one. Send us pictures of your man cage. GCN has you send pictures of their bikes. Send us pictures of your shop or your bike room.
Bike room.
Of your bike room. I would
And-
like to see those.
DM them to us on Instagram.
Yeah.
And we'll actually be able to look at them.
And we can
Yeah.
judge your
Yeah.
bike rooms.
Say if it's hot or not.
There we go. DM us your bike rooms. You can do panorama if you want,
Mm-hmm.
or you can do just straight on shots, or just make sure nobody's naked.
Yep.
That's I guess that's all we ask.
Because you and I have access to those pictures, so
Yeah.
we'll actually be able to see them. Like
Well,
I
you're
said.
the social media dude, so I'm gonna make you do it. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
you'll
I'm going to
send
see a
those.
lot of wieners.
Yeah.
Or not. We're cyclists, and
Fingers
they're all
crossed.
Yeah.
impotent by now.
Yep.
Yeah. There we go, you guys. World Championships this weekend. Hot damn. And guess what we got to talk about next week?
Yes.
It's the first one I'll have ever seen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What?
I'm not kidding. Because, you've watched it, but
Yeah.
I've never, watched it, you know? It's my first one that I'll have ever fully watched.
Is that because of school and stuff like that, or
I just haven't
He
cared.
didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Now
right
he
when
does.
I got into cycling,
Jackson's street
COVID
cred
hit.
just dropped.
Yes.
Yeah. But,
Yeah, you become a little bit more of a
Yeah.
problematic junkie since then.
yeah.
Wow.
So-
Welcome to the disease.
Mhm.
Big year.
This
Holy
is
shit.
this is the best race of the
Oh
world.
yeah, and in October it's going to be completely different. We got a lot of things to talk about
Yeah,
next
yeah.
week in terms of trying to figure that out. So there we go. Stay tuned, you guys. Big thanks to all of our friends at all the sponsors I mentioned before, and I do have to mention our friends at Mojo Cyclery. Good guys, Morgan and Josh, trying to keep the LBS spirit alive, and they do it incredibly well out in the Spokane Valley. If you have any needs for anything, especially the gravel world, go out and check out Mojo Cyclery. Everybody, keep your rubber side down. Thanks for tuning in. I didn't mention at the onset of the show, we are now live on multiple platforms. We are live on Vimeo, or however you pronounce it. Did I say it at the beginning of the show? I didn't.
Yes,
I
I
might
think
have.
so.
Facebook and the YouTubes, the YouTubes, as well as our good source on Podbean. And you can follow us live, or you can catch the recordings after we're completely done. And we are now monitoring social media so we can see what you said about us. Somebody said earlier, they said hello.
Oh,
Yeah.
hi.
to
How
you.
you doing? Yeah,
ABC7 said hello. Yeah, so there we go.
Right
Yeah,
on.
It's a great conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Jackson.